Hey everybody, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be taking a look at HighGuard, the new raid FPS made by the makers of Apex Legends and Titanfall. It's free to play and it's getting released on January 26th. We got to see it as a final announcement at the Game Awards, and I just want to discuss some of my thoughts, the positives, the negatives, and what we can expect from this sort of game. So, looking at the actual lore and the actual gameplay loop that you're going to be playing as, you are a group called Wardens, and you essentially are these arcane gunslingers, as described in very vague description, and you're going to fight over a mythical continent, and that's kind of the basis of the game. Quite simple, nothing really crazy about the actual lore background so far. Maybe we'll learn more as more trailers come out, but that's all we have so far. The actual gameplay loop is there's two stages in the game. One, you fight over an area where there's a shield breaker that you're attempting to take control of. We see a little bit of that in the gameplay trailer. That's stage one. Stage two is you push the shield breaker towards an enemy base and try and destroy it. Now, obviously, stage two could be that you're the one defending your base. I'm not sure what the defending or not defending. There's probably going to be some sort of timer where you have to last this long or something essentially like that. Again, we have very little. I wish there was a few more things being dropped right now because the game's a month away and we still only have one sort of cinematic gameplay trailer to run off. So my first concern here is the art style. The director has come out, his name's Chad something, and he has said the studio is really focused on creative freedom. Now, I don't know if it's just me, and I'm sure other people have noticed this. I haven't looked at negative comments about this game. I'm just kind of formulating my own thoughts here. It looks exactly like Valorant. If you took away the element of how devastating the guns are in Valorant, where it's just one tap at a rifle or 2 bullets or 3 bullets to kill someone, up to how many bullets it was to kill someone to maybe 10, and essentially just kept all the abilities, because the main guy, the main warden we see, he looks exactly like Phoenix. I'm going to have all this up on the screen. We've got your one throwing the knives. Looks very like Jet, and the animation looks extremely close to Jet. We've got the guy jumping down, destroying the building. He looks very like Breach in how he plays. And then we also have your one throwing up the ice wall. I think that's one of Sage's abilities from Valorant. You know, I'm not a big Valorant player. I haven't played hundreds of hours of it or anything, but I've played, 30, 40 hours. It didn't grab me as a game, but I've played enough to see the similarities. And I say someone who's played hundreds of hours of Valorant would have watched that trailer and gone, this just literally looks like Valorant turned into a more Overwatch style hero shooter. I think that's a really big concern for me, because speaking about creative freedom and then looking exceptionally like another game that has only come out so recently is very worrying. So I don't know how that's going to work. And that would be my biggest fear about this game is, does it stand out? And so far, like from the trailer, and I think other people I've chatted to have said similar things, like, it doesn't look like it stands out as an FPS. Everything from both the shooting to the art style to the abilities, nothing looks innovative, nothing looks new, nothing looks fresh. Does that mean the game will flop when it comes out? Not necessarily, but it's definitely something to be concerned about. And, I wouldn't be surprised if I went on Reddit or Twitter or went to the actual comments of these HighGuard videos and seen a lot of negativity, to be honest. I did look up some other HighGuard videos. I haven't watched them, but I seen that the titles were pretty negative, and I was like, hey, look, there definitely seems to be a negative wave against this game. Now, me, as someone who's played so much Apex Legends, I have a little bit of excitement for this game, so I do want to jump over to the positives, which still have a mix of negativity within them, the good and the bad. But overall, I just said, hey, look, we'll jump straight in with my main concern, which was the art style and sort of the lack of innovation that I'm seeing in the game. And now let's look at the bits that, hey, do look fun and what is looking a bit exciting. Let's not just focus on all the stuff that isn't any good. So starting off for me in the positives, the mounts and the kind of the playstyle around the whole mounts looks interesting. And that does look innovative. That's probably the only bit of the game I've seen where I've gone, that looks fresh, that looks like something different. Does it look good? Kind of a different question. I kind of seen it. I was like, looks a bit janky, looks a bit weird. I don't know if it's gonna play or feel that great, but it looks different, and that is something. It looks interesting, as I said. That is the innovative part of the game for me. The mounts are kind of the thing that stands out more than anything to do with the raid FPS stuff that they're on about. If this game's executed correctly, due to the fact of who's actually making it, it can be really fun. Like Titanfall was really fun as well. Apex, obviously, I've spoken highly about that. So if this game gets executed correctly with the, even if it is a similar vein to Valorant or a similar vein to Overwatch, or it's got similarities to a lot of other games, it's going to be a fun game. Those games are fun. A lot of people enjoy those games. I do find it funny when people hate on a game and go, oh, it's like Valorant or it's like Overwatch. It's like, what's some of the most successful games we've ever seen? Or whatever. It's like Minecraft, Fortnite, whatever. You could pick loads of things. It's like, if a game's similar to another game or feels as good as another game, then that's probably a good thing, especially if that game's a success. Obviously, we don't want to see like direct copies within an industry, but seeing similarities is okay, and you're gonna get similarities no matter what you do in gaming nowadays. There's just so many games coming out; it's nearly impossible to avoid. I also really like destructible environments in games, and we see in this trailer there is going to be destructible environments. I don't like destructible environments in hero shooters. I enjoy it in Battlefield. I think it works for a big, massive map where we can blow up a big building or blow up certain buildings because there's still so many other areas to find cover in. I don't like it in hero shooters. I didn't enjoy it in Marvel Rivals. And I'm very concerned. Of course, on a small scale, it's okay, like blowing up a wall or blowing up a door. Something like that is fine. The way it's been shown, I'm very concerned because let's say we lose stage one. We lose the shield breaker. We're the worst team. They've beaten us. They've handed us our ass. We need to then, if we're defending, we need defensible positions. If, like in Fortnite, they can just destroy your whole building, you lose that ability to have a defensible position. I didn't like Marvel Rivals for that. One of the things was the destructible environment. Other reasons I just didn't really click with that game. I'm more of an Overwatch fan. I also have a million problems with Overwatch, but anyway, that's a separate topic. But and I didn't like Fortnite because I don't like the destructible environments. I'm like, and I'm not really, wouldn't say I'm a camper, but if you are a worse team or you're not that good at a game, you want to be able to hold a position. Not necessarily sit in a corner, but like hold a position. And if you're going to be defending, you need to be able to hold a position. And if the position can just be destroyed from under your feet to where there's no cover, then whoever just is the better shooter is just going to win every game. And some people might go, oh, that's how it should be. And I'm like, I was very good at Apex Legends. I like, not to brag, but I genuinely was ranked as a top 10 Gibraltar for the first 2 years of that game on PlayStation, and like had stats. All my stats were in top 5, top 10. That wasn't because I was the best shooter. Gibraltar, one of the best Gibraltars with aiming or anything. It was because I outplayed my opponents. I used Gibraltar shield. I jumped on top of doorways. I was sneaky and I was good, and I used my positioning and my movement, and that's what made Apex such a good game. Was you could outthink players with your movement, with your positioning. If this game is more just about who's going to shoot, who's the better shooter because we're going to destroy all the environments, then I think that's going to be a huge problem. So I like destructible environments if it's done right. Will it be done right? So far, I'm not seeing that from what I'm seeing. I'm seeing too much destruction to the point where, again, it's gonna lack the ability of outpositioning your opponents, and that's a huge thing for me. If you're going to be defending a base, is outpositioning the guys. That's the whole point of defense, is that you've got a better position. If they can destroy your better position very easily, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of defending something. So yeah, definitely worried about that from that sort of perspective, but also excited if it's done right too. So I don't want to harp on that as a negative. It could be a positive. Finally, I've already lightly touched on this topic earlier in the video. Like, this game is free to play. You are not obligated to play it. If I pay 60, 70, 80 euro for a game and I don't like it, I feel this obligation to finish it or play it because I've spent money on it, especially if you've played enough time that you can't return it. What's great about this game is you could play 40 hours. The Battle Pass will come out and you could go, oh, you know what, I didn't like this game, I'm not going to buy the Battle Pass. Apex and Respawn, the makers of Apex, did the same with Apex. It was free to play when it came out, and it was a huge success because of that reason. Because it left me as a person to decide if, hey, do I want to invest in this game? Do I want to buy the Battle Pass? I think I bought 2 Battle Passes on that game. So for all the time I had on Apex, I bought 2 Battle Passes and spent whatever it was, 20 euro on 2 Battle Passes. And now, look, that game probably did deserve 50, 60, 70 euro out of me, but they're leaving it up to you as a consumer. Do you want to put money into the game? Do you want to buy skins? Do you want to buy loot boxes or whatever is in the game as a monetary system? And I think that's amazing, and I think that is such a positive. Like, people have been comparing it to Concord. Concord is absolutely crap and was 40 euro. It's not comparable, because even if this was as bad as Concord, which I don't think it will be, but let's say it was as bad as Concord, it still wouldn't be as bad because I haven't paid for it, and that's the main thing. Like, no one has to pay for this game up front. So that is the biggest positive this game has going for it so far for me. I do think there's exciting elements, and I really do believe if they execute it, it can be an amazing game. I fully believe in the lads who made Apex. Again, I could not say enough great things about Apex when it released. Over time, Apex got worse. Like many games, over time, they do just tend to get worse because too many things are added, too many heroes, too many guns. The balance starts to get thrown off. I think the original map they had is still my favorite map that Apex ever had, and I think when they made it that you couldn't play on that map, I know now I think there's a rotation system between the maps. At the time, it was just that map was gone, and I hated that. And the new map, I didn't like it at all. So that was the reason I fell out with love with Apex, and it's the reason I fall out with love with a lot of these kind of games over time. Is just too many things are added, and they're never really added in a good way. And the problem is it's power creep. If you add a new hero or a new gun, you want to make it good because you want people to play with it. If the gun's crap, everyone bitches about how the gun's crap. If the gun's too good, everyone bitches about how good the gun is. It's very hard to find that middle ground for developers. Look, I think this really does sum up all my positives, negatives, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as this might be titled, of this game. And I'm optimistic, and again, it's free, so you're allowed to be optimistic. And I do hope it's a success. I think a lot of people want failures in gaming nowadays. I think you see a lot of people online just hoping that things fail so they can bitch and moan about it. This game, again, it's not going to cost you anything. You don't really have a right to bitch and moan about it if you haven't played it yet, because it's not going to cost you anything. It's a free product. I would just say, just relax, wait and see, play it, and see how you feel. And if you still hate it, then maybe go online and hit some criticism. Like, developers need the criticism, but there's no point in just giving criticism when the game's a month away, because you're not going to change anything about the game before it comes out right now. So I would just be patient and wait and see once you get your hands on it if it's good. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have got this far into the video, I'd obviously really appreciate a subscribe or a like if you enjoyed this content. We're going to continue these things. I'll be playing, live streaming, doing more videos on HighGuard if we get more information. And yeah, look, I cover loads of games on this channel. We're just new here to YouTube, so still trying to find our feet. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and best of luck.